movie.
Hushaf, you had an intro for us. There was something you wanted to say.
Welcome to the Underleveled Podcast Update 1.6. Today we're going to be talking about cozy games.
But yeah, anyway, so we're in Hushaf's apartment today. We've got all this stuff set up, but I don't know why we're here. Hushaf, please let us know.
I said at the beginning we're talking cozy games.
Yeah, but in what way, shape, or form? Why are we talking about cozy games today?
Oh,
why did you say that thing about 1.6?
Because we have the possibly final update for Stardew Valley.
So I'm just doing all the Foley and crowd work stuff. So yeah.
But yeah, big week for cozy gamers. Well, Stardew Valley fans.
we're hitting our flipping. Everyone's got their belts ready. Everyone's got their needles.
I mean, if you look at the update notes, it's a massive update. I haven't compared it to previous ones, but I think it might be the biggest.
Okay, so just let's talk a bit about what we're going to be talking about today. So obviously the first big thing we're going to talk about is
Stardew Valley
and the 1.6 update. Maybe just a bit about Stardew as a whole. Because like Hushaf mentioned, it might be the last update we're getting for the game. So it kind of like rounds out almost what? It got released 2015, 2016, so like 8
nearly
years.
Nearly a decade, yeah.
Nearly a decade of dev and updates and shit like that.
One madman.
Eric Barone, concerned ape. Man was snorting coke off the bodies of
Do you think like
slimes.
he was like so like mad when the entire like NFT thing was happening and it was all bored apes? And people were like, "Oh, you just trying to like get into the NFTs?"
Excuse me, he's a concerned ape.
Yeah, but people were like, "Oh, it's just like you're just trying to like rip off bored ape." And he's like, I've been here longer.
Maybe it's a big maybe. Okay, right. So
we'll get him on the podcast and we'll ask him
one day. Eric,
my guy, bring down the classical music. What's it, the concert?
I know. South Africa. I know you're a multimillionaire. But frankly, I've got a couch.
Do you think he's actually a multimillionaire?
I don't know, because Chucklefish, the publisher that he worked through before he separated from... Excuse me, I'm burping. Before he separated from Chucklefish. Do you know the drama there? There's a whole bunch of drama with Chucklefish.
I don't know anything about this.
Okay, we can chat about it. But basically, we're going to talk about Stardew a whole bunch. We're then going to go on to concernedape's upcoming, we don't know when, Haunted Chocolatier. After that, we're actually going to... This past little while, Hushaf and I have both been looking at a couple of Stardew Valley equivalents. Now that it's kind of coming to the end of its run, maybe you're looking for something to fill that void. And so we're going to have a couple suggestions each on games worth checking out that we've both had a look at over the last little while.
Yeah. Let's talk about 1.6.
Okay.
Massive.
Right. So before you start dropping stuff,
I can barely drop anything. There's just so much. Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
So do you know when the first hint of an update came out? This is like a year ago.
I believe it was in April or May last year. He said he's going to be stepping away from Haunted Chocolatier to fully focus on update 1.6 for Stardew Valley.
Okay.
He being, as we want to call him, Eric.
My best friend. So that came, and there's been a lot of speculation. Like I don't know how much you're part of this, Hushaf, but every now and again I'll watch farm tours. There's Stardew specific YouTubers, people that build an entire YouTube channel around Stardew players.
The one I know the best is Lumi.
Lumi, I'm unaware of.
Oh, she's so wholesome.
Okay. So, and a lot of them are very wholesome gamers, which is awesome. I really hope they watch this. I don't know. I don't know how hectic we can get without scaring them off. But don't worry, guys. Come here. It's okay.
Love
it's
you,
okay.
Lumi. You've taught me so much about Stardew. Come on our podcast and let's talk about Stardew.
Come here, my guy. We got treats.
Girl.
Everyone's a
Lumi's
guy.
a girl.
Everyone's a guy. Genuinely,
I think she just hit 100k also.
Wow,
congratulations Lumi.
No, get you scratches and we'll get you some snacks and stuff.
She's scaring her off.
Dude,
she's gonna be like, there's this one normal guy and then there's fucking degenerates on the other side.
Do you know what it is? Because I've been house sitting for friends of ours, right? And they have two cats. The one is so needlessly friendly, like off the bat, and incredibly needy and is always attached to you. The other one is skittish as shit, and just after like more than a day of house sitting has finally warmed up to me after I've put in the most amount of work. I have to be so just like casual. I need to almost pretend like I don't care that it doesn't love me, and then I can like scratch it and stuff.
All right, enough of your personal problems. 1.6.
How dare you, dude? But yeah, so 1.6.
Well, technically we're on 1.6.3 because there was some bug issues.
Yeah.
All right, take it away. 1.6
was announced more than a year ago. There's been an awful lot of speculation. ConcernedaPe himself is trying to keep it on the DL, I guess, what's in it and what's not in it. Just because... So going back to what you said earlier, potentially the last update, I think that's why he was so secretive. Is just he wanted it to be a nice, like, surprising send-off and just have all this new fun stuff to play around with. And now he's going to shift gears and focus on Haunted Chocolatier.
The thing is, he can't even yet because he's still doing bug fixes.
Yeah, 100%.
For who knows how long.
But okay, so and then announced, and then finally the actual date of the drop was announced like 2 months ago or something.
I think so, yeah.
I can check on Steam real quick sticks actually. So the announcement came on February 26th that it would be released on March 19th. Like just about a month beforehand. And the 10 days leading up to the actual release of the update, he gave a spoiler-free update every single day. Like, the different fermented goods or aged goods festivals will have different colors. There's new festivals, new merchants, whatever. So very, very cool. It dropped. I've played I'm towards the end of spring season year 1 on a new save. I did also check one of my further along saves just to see some of the end game stuff in preparation for this pod. But okay, how do we dissect this?
It's so hard because originally I was hoping, I thought, okay, we're going to come on the pod, we're going to read off the update notes.
Dude, it's too much. it's an essay.
It's so much. Dude, this man was cooking for the last year. He really put his whole ConcernedaPe OC into it.
Do you know? Don't ever say that again. But like, as crazed as the Stardew Valley fans can be, I imagine ConcernedaPe in his dungeon coding all this stuff was just as cracked. Just like, and I want to add this stuff, and I want to add that stuff, and I want to add this.
Because not only did he add stuff for... Yeah.
So
yeah. Are you looking at the bar on the side? How...
Dude, okay, I'm starting scrolling. I'm scrolling as fast as I can. I'm still scrolling. I am still continuing to scroll.
Yeah, so...
Did you shush me?
Yeah, keep scrolling. So, yeah, it's just a shit ton. And it's not just like... It's stuff for the beginning game for new people, but also he added so much for people who've done everything you can in Stardew Valley that you can revisit those old saves, and now there's brand new shit to do to add on to that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest, I think, are the mastery skills.
Okay, so I loaded, this is one of the things I looked into for my older save, because on my new save, I was looking around the forest area to the south of the farm.
You found the door.
First thing okay, so I'm on the new farm type, right? Which is called Meadowlands or Meadowlands, Meadows, whatever. It's very big, and you start with a coop and 2 chickens, which is phenomenal. I've been enjoying it.
How long will it take somebody to speed run now with that farm?
It's less farming space than the basic farm, hey? Because through the middle, first of all, there are 3 different lakes. And through the middle, you have a massive like green belt running.
You got an image of the new farm.
I do have an image of the new farm for you. And what I haven't checked online because I don't want to ruin stuff for myself. But basically, this chicken coop at the top here, that's what you get given with the fences. I don't know if the fences are breakable, but I also, because it's my save, I don't want to fuck shit up.
No, I understand.
But so here's the farm, right? You have a little farming space over here in front of your house, big farming space here, but there's lots of patches of like greenery and stuff that you can't actually plant on. And there's a river running through your farm. So it is a massive amount of land, but not all of it is actually farmable, like the Riverlands or whatever in previous updates. But it's very cool and I'm enjoying it a lot. But like I said, went to the forest, and you walk into the forest and look here at the top, there are these massive trees right as you come down, and they're interactable, but so you must be able to put something there, and then you get some sort of an addition. But what we were talking about, also look at this, Hushaf. He made little waterfalls.
Yeah.
He made little waterfalls.
Honestly, with 1.6, I think not even a week removed from the update, right?
So March 19th. What's today's date? The 23rd.
So
4
everybody's
days.
still playing. Everybody's still figuring out these new stuff. So I feel like we might have to have another 1.6 update
once people have like found everything out.
Once we found some shit also.
Okay, so that's the room. It's towards the southeast part of the forest. You go in there. You can only enter in there when all of your skills are maxed out.
So fishing, combat, foraging,
farming.
I'm forgetting one more.
And Hushab, come on.
I can't.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Farming. Foraging.
Combat.
What's
the last one?
Fuck knows. I was hoping you would carry me through. What is the last one?
There's 5. Is there 4 or we just gassed ourselves?
No. There
We're
is
supposed
mining.
to be huge. Mining. Oh, we're big Stardew fans, I promise. I really promise.
Okay, so what I did was I went to one of my latest saves and actually went into that room. And the UI has some new stuff. Oh, dude, there's a new tab in your like inventory and skills and stuff. Just for your farm animals, so you can see if you've petted them that day.
Yes, you got
and you can see how many hearts, which is something
great.
that Harvest Moon always had. Harvest Moon always had that in their like UI, and Stardew Valley didn't until this point, which I'm such a big fan of.
I feel like we played a mod where we did have it though.
Maybe, but a long time ago. Regardless, so then I went into this room, and there's a bunch of different statues, or not statues, but like plaques on like
totems,
cabin wall.
basically.
Yeah, and there's 5 of them, one for each skill tree.
Yeah.
And if you do some actions that I'm not going to spoil here, you get some new bonuses, some permanent bonuses. The most important of which is that finally in-game we have an Iridium Scythe. You have no idea how irritating it was to have all your Iridium tools and your Galaxy Sword, everything purple. Your Return Scepter is even purple. Okay, and then you just have this golden scythe there that you would get from that random cavern by the quarry. So now we can have Iridium Scythes. But otherwise there's buffs and all kind of cool stuff.
I think I'm not going to spoil it, but for like combat at least, now you get these little trinkets that allow you to summon a companion when you're in the dungeons.
Which I have not come across yet, but I'm very excited.
So I can't remember how many companions there are. There's a fairy, there's a frog, there's a parrot, and I feel like I'm forgetting, I think there's 2 more, but anyways, each one of them does something different during combat.
I'm so excited to figure out like how to get one.
Yeah. Actually, like a lot of people who are like I've checked out on YouTube like don't know how to like get them yet, but everybody's trying to like speed run and get like the updates out that they're going into the code and just like adding it into the game so they can like show it off.
Oh, dude, actually speaking of like new companions, you can have multiple pets.
Oh, that's great.
So
live out your cat lady fantasies, everybody.
my new farm, for the first time ever, I've never done this before, I chose a cat.
I always choose a cat.
I have never ever done that before.
You can get a void kitty now. I'm sorry, a void means something different in Stardew. A black cat.
Wait. I was briefly very excited to have
it's not that type of void.
Okay.
I also forgot that void is an actual thing in Stardew.
Like void eggs and all that kind of stuff.
No, it's a normal black cat.
To get another pet. Okay, I don't actually know how you get the actual animal. But what you need to do, you need to go to Robin and she can build you a new watering bowl. A water bowl for an animal, and you can customize what kind of water bowl it is.
Yeah.
So we're cobblestone and whatever not. So how do you get the animal?
So you first have to max out your friendship with your current pet.
Yes.
And then Marnie will call you up and be like, "Oh, you've done such a good job with your current pet. There's other animals that could really use some love also." Wow. And you go over to Marnie and you can now adopt more pets.
Okay. I was gonna guess that maybe from Marnie was
so
the right
you can
way.
get a dog, a cat, a tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was one other thing you could also get.
A tortoise?
You can get a tortoise, yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay.
Also, I don't know if you've seen this, but we don't have to wait for Marnie anymore to be there on a Wednesday.
No, so she doesn't work on Mondays or Tuesdays or Saturdays. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is.
If it's those days. But anyways, you can now get a little catalog book. Yeah. So even if she's not there, you can do all your shit. Dude. Which means my animals won't starve when I run out of hay.
Dude.
You, Marnie, work harder.
She must be French.
Too busy going off with Mayor Lewis and doing who knows.
Oh my gosh. It's so saucy. Look, be free. Mayor Lewis, Marnie, it's a
No, yeah,
romance,
no.
romance for the seasons.
Live your life, but,
But
don't let it
also-
impact your work.
Dude, look, maybe this is toxic. I don't know if this is toxic.
It's not toxic. Do your job.
But it is incredibly frustrating that Marnie does not work on like Mondays or Tuesdays, and there's another day that she doesn't work.
Tuesdays is because she's out doing Pilates, yoga, dancing, whatever.
Yeah, at the general store
Yeah.
house. But okay, so that's. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I do have some more screenshots here. So, what I've experienced in the new events kind of thing. So
Yeah.
the new merchant, the bookkeeper, right? If you go into town, he's at the northeastern side. There's a little spot behind Jojo Mart for him to arrive.
You mean the movie center?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on. Later in the game. So let me just quickly show who.
I'm sorry, if you don't,
this is
if you
what the
don't know
inside.
the movie center exists at this point.
No, I do know it exists. So he arrives in a little balloon. He sets up shop, and the books that he sells provide buffs to your
Yeah.
character.
So they also how you get mastery points, which help you complete your.
Oh, okay.
Mastery.
And that's what we have over here. Did I go past it? There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's the mastery room over there.
Permanent buffs. So there's one that makes you run faster.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. There's others that just add if you haven't completed your skill trees yet. They give you a little more experience points for your foraging, your mining, your whatever. I think there's one that improves your drop rates from killing monsters and from mining ores by like 20%. There's a lot of like small things like that.
Awesome.
Nothing game changing.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? After seeing all of these updates, and I'm only like, I'm a couple days shy of a month in game.
And I'm only halfway through reading the updates on the website.
It took me 10 hours, and it's taken you even longer. But so how Stardew Valley launched way back when it's such a different game compared to what it is now. It's crazy. Like, and now seeing all these updates and seeing how
What do you mean by that? Because at the core, you were still farming, getting money.
But dude, the amount of like tools and places and every part of the game has been more and more fleshed out because, ConcerneDape made a crazy amount of money off the original.
Okay, well, take me back. Was the first big update, was it Ginger Island?
No. Ginger Island came years into it. I cannot remember the first big update. But they have, because 1.6, right? So there's been 1.1, 1.2, all the way to 1.6.
Yeah.
All of them have been really big and have changed big parts of the game. I think Ginger Island was maybe 1.5, 1.4, somewhere there, because 1.6 has taken 2 years or something to come out. But ConcerneDape tests and like implements quality of life improvements, but in a very diegetic, what's the right word? Integrated way. It never feels just slapped on. It always feels nicely crafted into the world, and it's always well polished. And when we talk about the other games, especially something like Sunhaven that I played quite a bit of, or my time at Portia, or my time at Sandrock, I've come to appreciate how polished Stardew Valley is.
It really is. It really is a well thought out game from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Everything leads into something else, which leads into something else. Nothing you do means anything you do doesn't mean nothing. Every action has a consequence. Almost.
I'm sure there are some small things here and there that doesn't apply to, and if someone watches this and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe they forgot this small," 100%. No game is flawless. Stardew Valley is not a flawless game, but it is so fun. If you are a casual gamer that likes this kind of stuff,
I wouldn't even say casual gamer, considering at the point at 1.6 where it is and how much it is to do. It might actually be a little overwhelming for someone if they see how much stuff you can do.
Maybe. But can you hear those sirens, by the way? I wonder if the mics are picking them up.
Well, I may have to leave.
What did you do? But Stardew, and something I've come to appreciate more recently, doesn't have tutorials. Like, everything you learn in Stardew is either just something you learn over the course of playing the game, or you have the library, or through a TikTok, or the library is one of those examples of things that are built into the game that helps you discover stuff and encourages you to figure stuff out. The town center as well. You see these plaques and these things that you have to get, and you're like, oh, how on earth am I meant to get this thing? So you start researching. Whether you use the wiki or you do it yourself through like trial and error, there aren't technically any tutorials in the game.
But I would say, but there are some stuff which are like, I don't think I would have figured out unless I saw a tutorial or the wiki. I'm thinking specifically when we had to put the sun thing into the Tyrannosaurus,
the dragons, whatever, for like, the chi quest.
Yeah, I don't think I would have figured that one out without.
I'm not saying like. There's also an online argument of like, if you use the wiki, you're cheating.
I don't think so. Yeah,
fuck that. It's
a cozy game. It's a community game. Everybody wants to help everyone.
Yeah. If you don't want to do that and you play it hardcore, if you want to figure out everyone's favorite gifts early in the game before you find any of the secret notes, feel free, but it's a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
And there's so many different items that some people, like even the universally loved items, right, are still hated by some characters. So it also, the likes and dislikes and stuff it came in an update, because now on your the relationship screen, right, it used to be just the heart system. But then eventually the have you talked to this person today checkbox got added. Have you given this person 2 gifts this week? A checkbox got added. The likes and dislikes got added. All this kind of stuff wasn't in the base game. It was what concernedape added in update after update to make it into this monster that we have nowadays.
You can really tell like with a lot of his updates that like he's active in the community.
Yeah.
And he listens to what's going on and he sees like, how can I make this better for my players?
What is something in the update that you've read through? I know you're only a third of the way through, but something that you're genuinely so excited for, something that makes you want to go back and boot it up again.
Like I would say like the black cat, just because, I love cats.
I love cats.
Genuinely, I love the festivals, and I'm so excited that there's 2 new festivals now to experience.
Okay, I have no idea what they are, because there hasn't been a new one in the first spring.
There's the desert festival now, and then there's also the squid festival.
Okay, that's very exciting.
Yeah, and festivals in Stardew is always great, because just to have all the villagers all around interacting, doing their own thing.
Okay, do you know when people min-max the game and they put crystallariums and smelters and stuff wherever they can, so they can produce as much money as physically possible?
Yeah,
there are people that build maps where it's like, okay, it is okay to put items here because it doesn't interfere with any pathing of NPCs.
Yeah.
What happens with festivals? Do you know? Because,
can't tell you.
Or does it just override and it doesn't? I feel like
it almost goes to like a different type of map.
Universe. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm just thinking of all the people that have saves where they've completely filled out the desert because it was essentially a safe zone, and now it's like, oh shit, hey, I got to move all my stuff because of pathing.
Yeah. Because now in the desert, now you can also, there's a betting, you can bet on a race.
Oh, dude, sorry. I just remembered, speaking of betting on stuff, do you know what I'm glad they actually removed from, or what concernedape did not carry forward from the Harvest Moon games? So, as I said, at Harvest Moon, you could do all kinds of stuff. You could plant, there was romance, there was some magical elements, you could raise animals. One of the festivals and events was a literal chicken fight, dude. You entered one of your chickens into a chicken fight and watched them brutalize each other.
Please use the correct word. It's cockfighting.
Actually, that's true. It is a cock. Which I watched a video about the history just to remind myself, and I looked, and the Harvest Moon I played was Friends of Mineral Town. There was and that had a male lead, and then there was a female lead one called More Friends of Mineral Town that came out back to back. And just watching clips from Friends of Mineral Town on the GameCube, I think, I was having all these flashbacks to things, and like the horse racing and the cockfighting and all these kinds of things. And I'm like, wow, concernedape really took one of like the games that formed part of my childhood and modernized it, made it more charming, and just made it better. I'm like, Stardew is such a sick Yeah, I'm so happy with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything more about Stardew?
Not really, but like you saying that now, are you concerned at all? Well, firstly, like, well, what do you think? Do you think this is the final update we'll ever get for Stardew?
For sure. You can't keep updating again. I know ConcerneDape must have made like pretty decent money off of it over time, but there's what point is there in like staying on the same project for the rest of your life? Like, what? There's no. I can't imagine him.
I don't know. Ask Activision and Call of Duty.
Dude. But I can't imagine him being stoked to continue working on Stardew year after year for the next 10, 15 years. I think it's time to put it to bed. Yes. I'm happy to keep playing, restarting every time I forget what I was busy with. But it's also, even for me, I go back to Stardew for a month every single year.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm not playing it every single day. 24/7, 365. It's
not anymore.
Not anymore, at least. Just me and my casual 700 plus hours in game.
So actually, well, this leads us now to Haunted Chocolatier, which is his new upcoming game.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think it would have came out this year if he didn't focus his entire attention to 1.6.
What were we talking about earlier? Because it's 1.6 was massive. Yeah. Then the cookbook for Stardew Valley, the board game for Stardew Valley that came out like a year and a half or a year ago. There's the Festival of Seasons, which is the concert.
But I wondered like how much he is involved in that, because
I know he showed up to a couple of shows, but besides that, like, no idea.
I'm sure they have to run like certain things past him, but I don't think like he's as actively involved as he maybe would like or would be. I don't know.
But I suppose he did score all the music himself.
Oh shit! Yeah, forget one man army. This man.
Yeah.
So maybe for the concerts he would have been there, but cooking, the cookbooks, I'm sure. Actual chefs.
I also, because the recipes in game omit like 17 different ingredients that most humans have to use. Also, it's just recreations of
real life
dishes. So unless the cookbook is exclusively for the more out of pocket recipes like mining candy or whatever it might be, and making real life versions of those.
Has the cookbook been released or is it still upcoming?
Let me check with our sound guy.
But while you do that, I'm really excited for the concert thing, because if that really takes off, I hope they'd go worldwide and they'd come here to South Africa. I think that would really be a really cool day out and a really cool video for us that we could do.
Wait, sorry, you want to, on like my old iPhone, go and set it up to record the thing and distribute? No, not just that. Just like,
our day out going to Concernedapes.
Oh, we do a little vlog, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got the website here with the cookbook open, and it's
available for pre-order, so it's not
available.
Out yet.
Okay. So what? An immersive cookbook based on the farming, foraging, and community role-playing video game. The official Stardew Valley cookbook celebrates seasonal ingredients through unique recipes inspired by the game. Cook your way through the seasons. Okay, so I think it's probably just real-world recipes, and it's made with like pretty art and stuff. Maybe getting gamers that normally just, I don't know, Uber Eats food to themselves to actually cook for real food and be healthy.
I don't know. I mean, didn't Overwatch also do their own cookbook that did like decently well?
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You can check that out.
Dude, why the fuck would Overwatch do a cookbook?
I am so sure Overwatch had a cookbook.
But why? It doesn't make sense.
Who
the
knows?
Official cookbook.
Yeah. Look, fucking
What?
Blizzard is cracked, okay? Who knows what they do? They just want money.
Dude, this isn't even, like, there's no art here or anything. It's just
them with their characters.
Like, the cover of the Stardew Valley cookbook has, like, beautiful art and looks like a scene from the game. The cookbook for Overwatch is just, it's a generic kitchen scene with the Overwatch logo slapped onto the side.
So if I'm correct, like, a lot of it is just, like, Genji's ramen, and it's because Genji is... Japanese are like, what?
Like super surface level
like
shit,
McCree is American, so who knows what they put for McCree.
Dude, this is so whack.
Deep fried something for McCree.
I can't actually deal. This is hilarious. Thank you for sharing.
No worries.
I find this horrid.
But anyway, so yeah, his new, his upcoming Haunted Chocolatiers, which seems like it's not going to be as relaxed as Stardew, because it seems to be more action RPG focused, as he seems to want to really get into his combat for this one.
Yeah. So, from what I've gathered, so first of all, it's important to note the Haunted Chocolatier website and like gameplay trailer. So the gameplay trailer was released in October 2021, and the last time the website for Haunted Chocolatier was updated was December 25th, 2021. So there's been
I feel like a trailer or something released.
No, dude. If anything,
last year.
People have repurposed the footage from the gameplay trailer. But if we go to the website, what's it called? Haunted. So from what I've seen from the Haunted Chocolatier, like gameplay trailer and the few things that are on the website, it's you run a chocolate making factory and then the storefront that also sells that chocolate. So you can decorate and craft. And how you get your ingredients, besides interacting with the whole town, it looks very pretty. But like the setting wise, it's more modern and has a big town, lots of NPCs, looks super cool. But the adventuring part is you going through some weird magical door in the factory into these parallel worlds.
Like the dungeons for Haunted Chocolatier.
Which is cool. Very cool. But like, yeah, the trailer dropped on October 8th, 2021. And the last
thing.
And then the progress update, December 25th, 2021 from concernedape himself.
Well, maybe it's on the update, but I'm pretty sure on Twitter he has released screenshots and stuff. Because I remember everybody freaking out about they showed like almost like the beginning of Haunted Chocolatier with an old person, kind of like the same way Stardew Valley started, with like your grandfather handing off the
That's a massive trope, right? In any farming sim game, it's either your father or your grandfather or something.
So for this, the theory is it's the same grandfather, and he's handed one to the one grandson, the farm to the one grandson, and now
the factory to the other grandson.
Because it's not being confirmed, but it's believed it's the same universe. But I don't think we'll know until we see like a JoJo's or something.
Okay. Either way, so there's very little to like actually talk about this game because there haven't been updates in years. I will say it looks like you can use little ghosts as your helpers in the store, which is cute as fuck.
Oh, so that's gonna add something a little different. Something management. What's the word I'm looking for?
It is kind of management. It's micromanagement.
Yeah, micromanagement. There you go. Micromanagement of these ghosts.
Yeah.
Where before, we were a one-man army on our farm doing everything ourselves.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it's going to be this automation, but I don't think so. Because, we had to get pretty far in Stardew Valley before we started to be able to automate our own farm.
Nah, untrue. You get to like level 5 farming, you have the actually good sprinklers. It goes your basic, quality, and then iridium. So your quality sprinklers you get pretty early on if you just chip stuff.
Yeah.
But concernedape is famously antagonist when it comes to he's anti-automation, very much so. He doesn't like that aspect because it just becomes Factorio or another game where it's just all about optimization as opposed to interacting with community and building relationships.
How do you think he's going to handle like the creation of like the chocolates? Do you think it's going to be up to us to like find our own recipes, or?
I think crafting. But so there's a recipe book here. You can see chocolate bar, simple truffle. So I think you would go find the basic ingredients and then you would have to craft different.
So it's not going to be experimentation for us, like creating our own chocolate.
Maybe, but it's tough to say exactly. I'm excited, but I can't imagine it coming anytime in the next year or two. Maybe towards
definitely not. Yeah, definitely not this year.
Definitely not. Maybe towards sometime next year he might give an announcement. But for now, that's where we stand. There's very little.
Look, if I was going to put my dick on the table and put a...
I'd prefer it if you didn't.
and say timeline, I think it would be beginning of 2026. Early 2026, so maybe I would think also March again.
Dude, it's gonna rival what's it called?
GTA 6.
GTA 6. It's Haunted Chocolatier versus GTA 6. Who comes out on top? Who's the new king of gaming?
And then watch GTA 6 introduce some update where you can do like farming.
But yeah, that's all we can really say about Haunted Chocolatier at this point.
I mean, visually it looks very pretty. Very excited for it. But yeah,
pixel art is my shit. I don't know about you. I eat that up like no one's business. Now, if you play the 1.6 update and you're stoked, but you're kind of Stardew Valley'd out. I can imagine maybe there's some people out there. You need something to tide you over until Haunted Chocolatier shows up.
2 years time.
What on earth are you going to play? So Hushef and I, we both set aside quite a bit of time and dived deep into 3 titles each. I know there's a lot in the casual gaming space. Stardew Valley really paved the way for a lot of things. But we have finite time. We're human beings. So
I have a job.
What are the 3 that you covered and what are the 3 that I covered?
I did Kynseed, Potions Permit, and Slime Rancher.
Okay, and for me, I did Sunhaven, my time at Portia, and maybe even a bit of my time at Sandrock, and also Graveyard Keeper. So I want you to head us off here, Hushaf. Which one?
I think I'll start with Kynseed because it's the one... Look, unfortunately, it was the one that I did the least because it was the last one that I picked up. Like, and I was really pooped out of all the gaming and research. But also, I kind of wish it was the first one I did when I had a lot of energy because it's huge.
I've seen a fair amount about Kynseed.
Deep.
I personally, it looks beautiful. It looks very pretty.
Yeah, it's very, out of like all the ones I play, it's very like realistic kind of with its visuals and its style.
Okay, wait. So talk to me. What is the like 2-sentence premise of the game?
So there's some like I can't remember the story too well, but like you're twins, you're starting off at this one village and you just you do your usual life simulator stuff. This is more a life simulator than farming simulator because there's so much more you can do. Like you can farm, you can or you can be a merchant, or you can just play it as The Sims and just have a family and do all of that stuff on the side. Combat is very different from all the previous like Stardew Valley-esque cozy games where you're kind of on 3 tiles and then your enemies are also on...
is it turn-based?
Yes, also on 3 tiles, and you can only attack those who are on the front tiles. You can diagonally with a range attack another enemy, but for the most part you have to be on that tile facing another enemy.
So it's a bit of like a JRPG combat system.
A little bit. When I was looking at the trailer, I thought it was a JRPG, but not exactly.
Okay.
And in order to get to like the enemies in the back, you'd have to take out the front. But a lot of the time, it's almost like a summoner is right at the back, putting things in front of it to meat shield it.
Awesome. Okay. So, but what is the point of the game? What are you trying to do? So you said you can kind of do anything.
So I think one of its biggest selling points, which I've never seen before in a life simulator X Stardew Valley cozy game, is you raise a family.
This is a man with a tiny penis driving past.
You raise a family. You go through your life cycle. You start as a teenager. Your mid-20s, your midlife. You're old. You become an old person, and you die. And then you get to carry on as one of your children, and all your stats actually carry over. All your assets get carried over.
So it's a legacy builder.
And
the townspeople, do they also age, die, have children, all that kind of stuff?
So everything is constantly changing. The townspeople, because they're constantly changing and becoming different, there's no like...
the personalities are randomly generated.
Yes, basically.
You're not getting attached to anyone necessarily.
Yeah, it's not like your Stardew Valley where everybody has their classic personalities.
Their archetypes.
So,
like, I would say that's very cool. For me, it Stardew Valley, like, the unfortunate side effect is that you're in like a permanent limbo, right? The kids will always stay kids no matter what year of your farm you're on. Which I think one of the Harvest Moons actually tried to fix this, but the weird thing was you could technically have a child with your spouse and then play as that child when your actual character died, but then because the marriage candidates didn't change, you could then end up marrying your mom and having another child with her and continuing the legacy purely through that one romanceable character.
George R.R. Smith must have loved that.
But okay, so what are its negatives? Sorry. So you kind of talked about its positives, the stuff that's cool.
I think that there's no hand holding at all and there's no help.
Yeah.
You have to figure everything out by yourself or, go online and watch a couple of videos.
Is it quite brutal?
I would say definitely in the beginning it's very brutal. It takes a lot to like learn, and also like some of the mini games. I don't know if it's like bugged, but like there's like a chop like, for when you cook. There's like a chopping mini game, and when you chop's like, you have to chop up your stuff and then you can put it into the pot. And then when you have like spices, like even though you've diced it finely, it still doesn't go into that next stage, which allows you to like slide it into the pot, and that's very frustrating because like you chop, and you have to try to like time it because each ingredient needs to be in the pot for a certain amount of time, and there's a time in the top left that shows you how long the ingredient has before it's going to start burning. So you have to decide the order in which you put your ingredients in when you're cooking.
Is it like very in depth?
Yeah, the mini games are really great. Like you really have to concentrate. It's not like you turn your brain off, and you can just like do it. Like you have to be aware of what's happening.
Okay, so then in terms of a metric of if you are a Stardew Valley diehard and you were to compare this game against it, so let's say 10 is a perfect like equivalent game, it'll fill that hole brilliantly, it'll fill that void brilliantly, or 1, it's a completely different game, and if you are a diehard fan that's looking for Stardew, it doesn't work.
If you're looking for Stardew, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're looking for something that's more advanced than Stardew, what's going to like do things that you wanted,
more demanding?
Definitely more demanding. It's like you're saying, like if you didn't like how you're just the same age all the time and nothing really changes, this one you're going through the year, so the towns is changing, the people are changing, you are changing.
It takes like 20 hours of gameplay to get through a single life.
Yeah, I didn't get through a single life because
it's a shit ton.
Yeah, don't have that much time.
So if we're looking at that scale from 1 to 10, where does it sit for you?
I would say it's so, like I just said, it's so hard. If you want something more difficult than Stardew,
so like, just giving up like
I would say 7
out of 10.
Yeah.
So okay, for the Stardew fans.
Yeah.
So it is
Stardew-esque, but if you want something more difficult, this is the game for you.
So that's why you detract points, because it isn't. It's maybe the difficulty curve is a bit higher.
Definitely higher.
Okay, awesome. So that was, what's the name?
Kynseed.
Kynseed. Okay, then for me, my first game that I delved into was, I think, my time at Portia. So my time at Portia, the graphics are almost like Nintendo DS Lite generation kind of graphics. It is a bit more advanced because, time has gone further. But the basic premise is you come
rated
to
E10
this
for ages 10 and up.
land called Portia. There's a small town, there's lots of townspeople, there's ruins to delve into, there's farmlands, and you are taking over the workshop of your father as a craftsman and a builder. Obviously, there are other things you can do. You have some livestock, you can do a bit of farming, but overall, your core mechanic is crafting and building as opposed to farming. And in like the positives for me when it came to this game, just look at my notes quickly. So there is there's just a ton of stuff, right? When I first started it up, I was almost overwhelmed by the amount of things, like the amount of craftable items. There's like a basic economy system. There's commission work that you do, and you need to pick up commissions every day. And there's a research facility. There's a religious facility.
How much hand holding is in this game?
Okay, so I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
So there is a lot in this game. It's generally quite shallow. For instance, to get some of your basic mining resources, like copper, tin, whatever, you go into these ruins. Right? They're called either abandoned ruins or dungeons, whatever. And it's just like the first two that you get access to are pretty much just like massive empty halls full of that are made of stone and whatever. And you can mine in them, and there's this mechanic where you can find relics and so on from the old world. But there's it's empty. I can't stress this enough. It's an empty room with different colored surfaces for different resources and different relics buried in the ground. It's very basic, very empty. And I think that applies across the game, where a lot of the time stuff can feel very shallow. There is combat and it can feel quite fluid, but it's just button mashing over and over and over. Very little dodging. The biggest thing for me is that visually, it is not that lovely to me. There are moments where I'm like, oh, this is a pretty game. And the town design was awesome. Genuinely, the town is multi-level, different levels to the town. The buildings themselves are big and cool, but it's also a very unfinished and unpolished game. For instance,
when was it released?
I think 2018.
And to still be unpolished to this day.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
For instance, bug-wise, right? You go into the restaurant in the evening when most townsfolk are there, and it's just them. They're all like maybe 15 to 20 townspeople just constantly walking and bumping into each other. None of them are sitting, like maybe they'll sit down, but there's very little stuff happening. And then menus, right? There are a lot of tutorials. They like anytime you do something new, a tutorial thing pops up. And the menus for crafting and your resources and your inventory, they look like they're from the 2000s, dude. It's like Windows XP kind of level. They just is not. And so I notice this now, but if you go into a game and the menus don't have their own art and they don't follow the kind of theme of the game so far, that is the biggest tell of something being unfinished besides bugs. So cool game, lots and lots to do, but the personalities of the townsfolk are generic. Everything's kind of shallow. But, and this is a big but, they released a sequel to this game called My Time at Sandrock, which all those things I found fault with kind of fixed, right? They have interesting characters. There's more story. There's better art, and it's prettier to look at. The economy system makes sense, like it's set in a desert, so the price of water goes up when there's like minimal water, and if you chop down too many trees, the townsfolk get mad. Like,
this is now the sequel.
Yeah, My Time at Sandrock, and it looks better, it plays better, all the things I just complained about with My Time at Portia, it fixed pretty much. So if
tutorial wise, did they back off on it?
No, it's still got a bunch of tutorials, but I think that is just the nature of a game with that many different systems. But the menus follow, like they're themed, like they have art for the menus. So that was cool. So that's My Time at Portia on a scale
of how many ancient
so this
fruits?
This is specifically for My Time at Portia, not
how
My
many
Time
ancient fruits out of 10?
I would say, that's well, it is tough.
I told you, because it's not exactly, it's not a one-to-one.
It's not a one-to-one. I think it'll fill the gap for a little bit, but you will eventually just get tired of the shallowness of the game play itself. So maybe a 6. It'll scratch that itch for a while, and then eventually you'll get tired of it.
Okay.
Maybe let's say a 5. It's a healthy 5. Okay, so that's my first game. Your second game.
Sorry, just like as you were talking, I just remembered some stuff about kynseed that irritated me.
Should we move past it? We don't need to address it, dude. Just next game. Next game.
The next one I did. Actually, I want to do. I'm gonna do Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher. Okay,
Yeah.
this is one I've been wanting to play, and I know there's a Slime Rancher
This is
too.
Doom meets Stardew Valley.
Okay.
So I don't, if anybody who's played through Stardew Valley, you get a little slime breeding room type thing.
Mm-hmm.
This
That's
is
Slime Hutch.
Yeah, the slime hut. This is like if somebody took that and expanded it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on you're a new rancher who's like fed up with their whatever they were doing before that, I can't remember. And they travel to a new world where there's slimes.
A new world?
Yeah, I think it was a new world, a new planet.
So it's space age.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, yeah, and basically you breed slimes almost.
Mm-hmm.
You capture slimes by having this like little vacuum pack thing that like can suck them in, and then you can spit them back out into these little pens that you create for them.
Mm-hmm. And then you breed them, I assume?
You don't breed them because you kind of have to collect them and just put them more, but you can put as many as you want into a little slime pen.
Okay.
But in early game, like your walls are pretty limited, so if you stack them too much, they're gonna like jump out and run free.
And what do you do with these slimes once you've caught them?
Alright, so once you've caught them, you then need to feed them, and you need to figure out which slimes like which types of food, and this is where your
research
farming
and
elements
craft.
comes into it.
Yeah.
Because you have to farm like carrots and.
But what do they produce? Why do you need these slimes?
Yeah, so when you feed them, they produce this thing called quartz. No, not quartz.
Quartz?
Plorts. It was plorts.
Plorts. Because quartz is just like, it's a type of stone.
And then you can suck up these plorts, and there's a in-game economy stock system for like
Stonks.
for the fire slimes, like they on the day when you go check, they could be worth a lot or they could be worth like a little, and so you have the entire like stock system there before you sell it, and you can check, okay, maybe I should hang on to these for a while because it's very low and I'm not going to get my worth now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just with the money that you use that money to continue to upgrade your ranch to get more pens.
Do you have any townspeople? Do you interact with any other kind of humanoids?
So this was going to be one of my criticisms of the games. Like, it is a very lovely game, very chilled game. Just slimes everywhere. You never see another human or anything. It's just you and your slimes. Your only enemy are the tar slimes. And this is when... So if you feed a slime... if a slime eats another plort, it will like take on that plort's like ability. And
wait, so for instance, if you have, let's say a water slime and you have a fire slime.
So if you have a fire slime,
yes,
and you feed it like a rock plort, it's now going to be able to produce fire plorts and rock plorts. But if it somehow manages to eat another plort, it turns into a tar plort, which is the only type of...
wait, so if it eats a
third different plort.
Right. So if it eats two plorts that
second plort, yeah. So
two plorts besides the plorts that it already produces,
it turns into a tar plort,
which
is your only like enemy in the game.
Right.
Which also like
which is why you want to keep them in separate pens.
Yeah. First of all.
Oh, so you could technically have 3 kinds of slimes per pen.
Yeah.
Right?
But then,
no. Sorry, 2 types of slime per pen.
Yeah, and it'll be fine.
Yes.
But also, if you don't want to mix the plots, because then like you're not always going to get the plort that you want, because it's going to be one or the other it's going to produce.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah, tar plots also like as the only enemy in the game, they're not like tough at all. Like you just have to shoot water at them, and it will kill them. Because the game is supposed to be very like chilled and relaxed.
Yeah.
So that's like your only enemy in it. It's a lot of fun. It's very grindy.
Yeah.
And you don't notice the time passing when you play it. Like all these slimes are so cute and wholesome, and setting up your farm and trying to upgrade your farm, your ranch to make it better, get more plots.
It seems relatively simple in terms of mechanics. So
you could just drop in and like figure it out
so
more or
like
less.
Very casual.
Very, very casual.
Okay.
But also, like I said, like you don't, because it's so easy and easy to get into and very simple, you don't notice the time passing. Like you're always like, okay, I want this.
It's that routine we talked about earlier, right? You just get into the swing so quickly.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that maybe that's in a sense not good? Because then it sounds like it doesn't have a crazy amount of depth to keep you hooked into the mid and late game.
And like it's very quickly that you're gonna find and kind of unlock all the other, not islands but like restricted areas, because you upgrade like your jetpack type thing and you can like go jump further and stuff, and you can get to the next like land where you'll find new types of slimes.
Do you then restart your base on that new land?
No.
Or do you teleport back to your original?
You get a teleporter later. I didn't get to that point, but the thing is you only have 4 slots to collect like anything, like your
so your inventory space.
Yeah, there's only 4 slots. Like,
okay.
For like chickens or a slime or your veggies, your fruits and vegetables, only 4, which is very irritating, which means if you find something that you really like, you're gonna have to like get rid of one and get that, and then travel all the way back to your base,
which is always an issue in these games. Like even Stardew, you start off with 10 slots, and then you upgrade your backpack twice, you end up with 30 total.
From what I looked into, you can never upgrade from these 4 slots.
Okay, crazy.
So till the end game, end game is not really end game.
So it's always the same. 4. It's almost like the early game cycle, just repeated it over and over and over.
And more slimes, more gadgets and stuff to use.
So in that ranking that we talked about, from 1 to 10, in terms of Stardew perfect, fills the void, 1 not at all what you need.
If you want something that would like you can just hop in and hop out all the time, even like if you forget after 2 weeks and you can come back and you're not gonna like forget like what you're gonna do, it fills that. So I don't know, I'll put it around a 5 or a 6. It's not it's not Stardew-esque with like farming.
Because there's lots of story as well in Stardew. Like every character has cutscenes and stuff. There's no story in Slime Rancher, right?
I don't know. I didn't check out Slime Rancher 2. I don't know how much if they put a story in that or anything. But yeah, this is just like a drop in and do your shit.
Okay, so 5 and a half?
5. I think 5.
Okay.
Between 5 and 6, like 5 and a half, yeah.
Okay.
5 and a half ancient fruits.
So now, I would have said sweet gemberries, but like whatever. Now I have.
Ooh, no, I'm an ancient wine man.
I have. Really?
Yeah.
Starfruit wine's the best though. 6,300 with the artisan perks. Regardless. Okay, so my second game, the next 2 games. I'm gonna go with Graveyard Keeper, because the last one I'm going to talk about, Sunhaven, is just such a fucking meth head dream. But okay, Graveyard Keeper. Basic premise: you get crashed into by Truck-kun from anime, and you are reborn in another world as a Graveyard Keeper. Okay, so essentially it's an isekai, and you wake up and you're the new Graveyard Keeper for this small town. And through being the Graveyard Keeper and having access to dead bodies and stuff, you can do many dodgy things. Like when you perform autopsies, removing meat and innards and bones and using those to build, like, fill your own coffers by selling meat to the townsfolk who don't get meat very often. So that's the basic idea. You run the cemetery, but you use...
So was it like a Sweeney Todd type of deal that we're doing?
For the fans of darker mystery stuff, this is a phenomenal game. I can't stress enough how good the mystery and story aspects are. The first two characters you meet in this game are a disembodied like skull that just talks the most amount of smack, and a communist donkey who drops off the bodies. Like, it is the amount of quests and storylines and stuff in this game are unbelievably good. I can't explain how good they are. I'm like 10 hours in and I am hooked so deeply. But your basic loop is you need to improve the cemetery and the churchyard in general. But to that end, you need to process like dead bodies, you need to farm a bit, you have to craft a bunch. In the like mid to late game, you start using zombies, which are just, so there's like black magic and stuff in this world as well. And you can use that to create zombies from the bodies that this donkey drops off at your door, and use those to automate your resource collecting. It is so cool, Husha.
So with these zombies, can you not harvest them at all? You have to leave them as they come?
No. So that's, you turn them into zombies.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, can you first harvest all their organs and stuff, then be like zombie now?
I haven't gotten to that part yet. I think you can, but I'm not hundreds. But there's, I will say it's very overwhelming. Like, in terms of the improvements and the amount of steps to get to a simple thing. For instance, part of like one of your first quest lines is improving the cemetery because it's kind of in ruins, and you need to build repair kits and new crosses and new like edges for your graves. At the same time, you're performing autopsies and making new graves to put people into and stuff. And just the act of building a wooden cross requires you to build like 4 different machines. Because you need to build a wooden anvil to produce like nails, and you need to build a wood stock pile and a chopping block and a crafting table to process raw wood into smaller wood pieces and then into like the final wood cross itself with nails. There are so many steps to producing stuff. But I think it's, if you like getting more into the nitty-gritty and you like small improvements here and there, it's a phenomenal game. I think what carries it is the story. No disrespect to Stardew here. Like I've said, I'm deep in that meth hole. The storylines of Graveyard Keeper are so funny and so zany and crazy and mysterious, some of them. It is genuinely so cool.
Is this a game that's out or was this
it's out. There's also bunches of DLC worth looking into. I just want to check here what so my main negative for the game would be that it is very overwhelming. If you want to be a casual player, right? It's a lot to get started with. And to really get into the mid and late game, it takes a while, and you need to be paying attention to a lot of different things to get it there. You can't just like keep farming and just chatting to people here and there to continue the storylines and improve and so on. So, brilliant game. If we are talking about Stardew fans coming into it, it's tough to recommend just because it is so much less of a casual kind of experience. So on that rating system, I'm struggling to separate how much I like the game from how good it would be for Stardew. I'd put it at an 8 8.5 actually.
8.5 star fruits.
8.5 star fruits out of 10 star fruits. For sure. Okay, so that's Graveyard Keeper. Your third and final game.
Was Potions Permit.
Okay, I remember watching some early access footage ages ago, but I haven't looked at it since.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little about early access actually. There was a lot of like bugs and stuff which really hampered people's experience with it. But it's been so long since then, and the devs really did a lot to fix all of that up. So now it's a pretty good game, bug-free. But yeah, basically the premise is you are a medicine
Rated
man
E for
who's
everyone.
come to this town, which is basically run by a witch doctor. And so everybody is scared of you and your modern medicine. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince people like, I'm here to help. This medicine is the best way to do. The witch doctor, he doesn't have your best interests at heart.
So Witch Doctor in terms of like the classic fantasy thing of black magic, right? Not,
Yeah, he looks like Doctor Strange. His little sprites.
Okay, because otherwise it would be very problematic on the storyline.
No. This is he looks like Doctor Strange and believes in magic. Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
So you basically there's a reputation system in the game, and you run a clinic, and then patients get dropped off in your clinic every now and then, and you have to go there, play a little mini game. The mini games for diagnosing your patients are usually either memory based, where they'll show you a certain pattern and you have to remember it, do that pattern back, or it's like a rhythm based where you have to when like things are coming past and it comes into the circle and you gotta like click the right one. And then once you have your diagnosis, you'll know what potion that you'll need to make for them, which leads to my favorite mini game, your potion making, which is a Tetris style game where it shows you a little shape that you need to make, and then from all your available ingredients you need to then fit it into that shape that's provided. Where was I? Yeah. And that can get repetitive, but after you do a certain ailment or a certain potion 5 times, it automatically becomes like just a potion you can make, and so that repetitiveness for that mini game is taken out, so you don't get bored of having to keep going back.
The same potion over and over.
So the thing is with that game, so where Stardew Valley has farming, this is just foraging. So you'll go out into the wilderness, you'll find your flowers, find your trees, kill your enemies in order to get these materials for your potion. And each material is like a certain shape in itself. So maybe killing a bear gives you like 2 squares, picking up a certain flower is like your little L shape, and you're then going to be using those to fit into that pattern provided for that certain potion.
It sounds... I'm trying to equate this to Stardew, right? It would be the equivalent of if in Stardew there were mini games not for fishing and whatever. It would be mini games for planting your crops, mini games for watering your crops, mini games for plowing, and so on, which sounds really cool.
There's a lot of mini games for like your different things that you'll do.
Almost in essence, they took out all the usuals of this kind of game of, I don't know, farming and whatnot, and just translated the time that you would normally spend on those things into deepening the like basic potion making system and diagnosing and stuff.
The sound design for the minigame, specifically the potion making one, it's so lovely. It's such great ASMR, like the little like bloop sounds that go into it as you like adding your ingredients, and then when you close in your like pots and the noise that it makes, it's great.
Like incredibly sound. Like you don't notice good sound design until you come across bad sound design.
Yeah,
it's the same thing I was talking about with the menus at my time at Portia, where I didn't realize how important consistency and menus and stuff and UI was until I came across bad examples of it. So you're saying that the sound is like crisp, chef's kiss, beautiful.
Everything. I love the sound so much. But yeah, the game itself.
Wait, what are the negatives about the game?
No, sorry, I'm still talking about the positives, man.
so many to get through.
No, like the NPCs have like, it's similar to Stardew. They all have personalities. Mm-hmm. They all have their own schedules. So the ones at workshops, you need to know their schedules. Otherwise, if you want to do something and you try to go to the shop, sorry, they're not there. They're off Mayor Lewis or something. I don't know.
Money, for real? You're supposed
to
do
your fucking job, Monty. Yeah, like I said, there's also I mentioned earlier, but there's a reputation system, and so if a patient comes into your clinic and you don't treat them, eventually they get transferred to the medicine man whose name I can't remember right now.
Wait, stay silent for 2 seconds. I'm going to add it with a robot voice in post.
Matthew.
Yeah. Then they go to his like clinic, get treated there, and you lose reputation with your villagers. So coming into the game, barely anybody trusts you. And if you're not treating your patients or helping them out in any way by doing little side quests, side missions, killing monsters, your reputation is going to continue to fall, and no one's going to like you in the village.
Is there a lose condition? So, for instance, if your reputation hits a certain floor, then you're out.
I'm not sure.
Or
actually,
if it hits a ceiling, then is it a permanent struggle between you two, or is there a storyline? Do you think
there's a storyline that you follow, and
where in the end you like reach a
I don't
consensus?
know, I didn't
Late
get
game,
that. But yeah, there's certain items and there's certain items and stuff that are locked behind story events.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to like progress in order to like continue to upgrade.
Okay.
It's not like Stardew Valley where you grind out, get the money, and then you can buy whatever. You do have to progress the story in order to get the more fantastical upgrades for your clinic.
I do want to ask, because you've been seeing high praise, any negative you can think of for this game.
Very boring in the beginning.
Okay.
Takes a little while to get into, maybe around 2 hours. I was like, ooh,
because you also got to like.
And also I came
learn
straight
the townspeople.
Yeah, but
is there a romance aspect?
I was like, that's gonna be one of my negatives. So I'm coming there now. But this also, I came straight from Slime Rancher into Potion Permit, which is just like action packed. As soon as you like dropped it into, then now Potions Permit, which is very slow and a little bit boring in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the story is the one that made me kind of like stick it out, because I love a prove people wrong type story.
Mm-hmm.
One of my negatives, I think I would say, is there is romance, but there's no marriage.
Okay.
So you can like date someone, and I didn't get to that point where you could date someone, but it doesn't seem like you get like any perks from like dating someone.
Yeah.
So if you're dating like a shop, I would like if you're dating like one of the shopkeeper, there's a very cool like sword, like a not priest, why pirate, a very cool pirate woman.
Dude, what a classic mistake to make.
Shut up.
Priest pirate.
Who I was like, I would think it would be really cool if, like, if you're dating like one of the shopkeepers, maybe you get discounts or something, or they give you like tips for. Well, in her case, she's like in charge of kind of like fishing and getting you bait and stuff. I think that would have been cool, but from what I researched into it, like you date someone, that's about it. Nothing special.
Like romance,
no marriage.
Romance in these kinds of games is super. Like in my time at Portia, the better your relationship, not even romantically, the like you get certain perks, and then if you do get married, there are certain perks as well. In Stardew, you get a partner, but also they sometimes do stuff for you, or they give you gifts and so on. There's children. Graveyard Keeper, there isn't actually a romance aspect, because when you get isekai'd, it's because you're on your phone to your wife. So your goal is to get back to your original world, obviously.
Cute.
So it doesn't have romance there, but like a bit of romance is better than none. But is it Potion? But it's pixel art, hey? It's very pretty pixel art.
Very
game.
pretty pixels.
Very pretty pixels.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So on that all-important scale that we talked about,
What did I give Kynseed?
Kynseed, you gave a 7.
Yeah.
Leaning towards 7.5, actually.
I would give this like an 8. Like, again, you can... it scratches that cozy game itch.
Okay.
But if you want specifically like farming, this is not going to be the game for you.
Yeah.
But if you want a nice chilled game, really great music, I think I read a review from Eurogamer which described it as just like a hot chocolate game.
Okay. Oh, that's also, we're going into winter now, and we're going to have warm drinks all the time and be under blankets. It seems very cozy. From what I saw when I saw like trailers and a bit of gameplay, it just seemed very wholesome.
Yeah, I think out of the 3, Potion Permit is definitely going to be the one I'm going to go back to and try to complete it.
Okay, awesome. Do you think it's a 200-hour plus kind of game that Stardew demands? I
feel like once you finish the story, there might not really be a lot of motive to keep going.
So this is actually something, because
I'm not too sure about like what are your end games and if there's DLCs and stuff.
Open end. So obviously Stardew completely open ended. You can run a farm for 100 years if you want to.
Yeah.
Graveyard Keeper has more of a storyline, and so does My Time at Portia. But if I were to rank them, right, it would go completely open-ended Stardew Valley, then My Time at Portia, less open-ended, and Graveyard Keeper, very clear storyline. And I think
Kynseed has like a storyline also to it, but it is, you can go on for like years and years and keep going to the next generation and going building your wealth up.
Okay, so like the replayability of games that have a very clear storyline obviously diminishes the replayability
value
for sure. But that brings me to my final game now. Which
save the best for last?
Kind of. I will say this is a 9 out of 10, potentially 10 out of 10 to scratch that Stardew Valley itch. Is it a perfect game? No. Is it flawed? Yes. Are there lots of things that I have issues with? For sure. Is it also something I see myself putting like 500, if not more, hours into? 100%. Its name is Sunhaven. And Hushav, let me take you on a little magic carpet ride, if you will.
All right, first, what are we talking art-wise?
Pixel. And I cannot stress this enough. The pixel art in this game for the environments and the farms and is just beautiful. You go into like shops or you go into town. It is such beautiful, beautiful pixel art. I actually want to show you here live, Hushav, because my goodness gracious me. Sunhaven, I don't know, art. Oh, it's gonna show me some real disturbing shit, isn't it?
Let's go Sunhaven, man.
Let's go town. So if you look here,
I love this type of style.
Storefront, it's pixel art, and it's not flawless, but it is gorgeous. And every single environment has so much detail, so many small little things here and there that make it look so pretty.
All right, talk me to what is Sunhaven about?
The basic premise is you are coming to this town of Sunhaven, and you are setting up a farm. The problem I have with explaining what this game is about is because before you even start the game, there are so many choices. The character creator is massive, Hushav. There are so many different options, and on top of that, you have like 8 different races to choose from, dude. There's elves, there's demons, there's humans, there's all kinds of different races.
Is it just aesthetic, or do you get...
No, you get inherent abilities. So, important thing to know about Sunhaven is if you took Stardew, you put concernedape on even more crack in terms of stuff that just added just so many different mechanics and so many much different gameplay, all like stacked on top of each other. And then you took the dial that said fantasy and cranked it past the point of breaking. Like, there's magic. Every
right now, what you're describing kind of feels like Stardew Valley meets Dungeons and Dragons.
Maybe. Like, it is one of the most fantastical and magical places you will go to. I can't encompass my feelings about this game coherently, so I'm going to try my best to talk about my experience.
All right, talk us through the first like 30 minutes to an hour that you'll go through.
So I chose to be a human, and I think that does dictate something, and you have an ability associated with that, and I also chose, because you can choose professions or things to work towards. And I just chose farmer because we're trying to do a Stardew comparison.
What were the other professions?
I can't remember right now. I wish I had them.
Not like
I might
fisherman,
put them on.
like adventurer.
Yeah, something more fantastical even. But I just chose farmer because we're doing Stardew. And you load in, and you have all your basics, right? There's fishing in this game. There's farming. There's combat. There's questing. There's shops. There's like lots of NPCs to talk to. Lots of stuff to do. But everything has a magical like element to it, and there's the skill tree, right? There you have 6 different skills, 5 different skill blocks, right? One's for crafting, one's for farming, one's for combat, and in each one there are like 4 times 12, so there's like 48 different perks to choose from, and each perk has different levels to it. I
think you might be scaring some people off. This sounds very overwhelming.
Here's the thing. this game is very overwhelming when you first hop into it. Like, you have mana pools, you have HP points. There's so much in this game that's why I said they put the developer must have been concernedape on crack, because there are so many different mechanics all working together that it is just very overwhelming. But it's kind of like Pal World. Sorry, that fucking counter of like episodes not mentioning Pal World, but it's like someone just took as many different mechanics from different things that they liked and just shoved them all into one amazingly fun box.
So it's just a open world sandbox.
Kind of. There is a story. There
Okay.
is a very clear storyline, and as you progress, like, you befriend dragons and you get pets and you meet townspeople. There are romance aspects. There are also different towns. I think there's like a demon town and an elf town, and in all different places you have farms. End game, you are managing 3 different farms, okay? And there's a whole new sense of NPCs at each place as well. You are using magic to till your fields and to water your crops and do all this kind of stuff. So I've just been going on this crazy rant here. I don't know if I've been making sense, but in terms of downsides, it is very unpolished. Like, in terms of romanceable characters, there's a couple. Their personalities are very bland. They are also the only characters that have full portrait pixel art. Like, in Stardew, when you talk to a character, they have like
so
a portrait on the side.
NPCs in general are very...
they are characters, but they're kind of very bland archetypes.
Yeah, forgettable.
Like, I don't know any of their names really. And it bothers me that only the romanceable characters have full portrait art. No one else does. Which is kind of just sad, I think. Because it means they didn't have time to implement that. If it was a conscious choice, I don't understand why it was a conscious choice.
Early development game, or it's...
No, it's full released, I think. No, it is full released. And I think the developer is also working on the next game in the series, so it doesn't look like it's going to receive any more updates. I think just purely based on how many options you have, right? My biggest flaw with this game is that besides being unpolished, it has so many different systems, and it'll take you a good 5 or 10 hours to just get used to some of them. And that's without playing as a different race or a different character build, whatever it might be. But it has a lot of RPG elements. It has a lot of fantasy elements.
We got a skill tree going on?
Yeah, so what I talked about earlier, where at the late game, you will just have every single perk available. You're not building unique builds, but maybe at the beginning you have to pick and choose stuff. But it has your staples. It has your farming, fishing, foraging, mining, combat. It has all that stuff. It has NPCs. It has a lot of NPCs. And I think if you get past the overwhelming moment, it is genuinely one of those games that you can put your 500 hours into. Is it for everyone? No. But I think for those Stardew Valley fans that are looking for something to fill that void before Haunted Chocolatier comes out, I would put it at a 9, if not a 10.
So, of the 3 that you mentioned, which would be your number 1 recommended? Sunhaven.
Like, just based on rankings. Oh, okay. Shit.
Don't take into your ancient fruit rating. Sorry.
My ancient fruit rating.
Just what do you think?
What
of
am
the
I
3?
going to play?
Sure.
Here's the thing. I will play Graveyard Keeper, which is easy, like a 70, 80 hour game by itself. If you complete all the different storylines, and that's without DLC, and the DLC is game sized.
Jesus.
So I will first play Graveyard Keeper, smash it out, and then I will play Sunhaven for the foreseeable future. And yeah, it is genuine. I can't recommend it enough. It is a fever dream, but you're gonna enjoy it. So definitely, in terms of my rankings of what I'm going to play, it's going to go Graveyard Keeper, Sunhaven, My Time at Portia, if I even might pick up My Time at Portia again. And for you?
I definitely am going to try to put a few more hours into kynseed, just because, like I said, it was the last one I did, really tired. because I really should have taken maybe a little break, but deadlines are deadlines.
Yeah.
But I think Potion Permit would definitely be my number one recommend. And I wanted to go check out Slime Rancher 2 because there is a sequel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if they fixed up on some of the issues from one, as in being it's a very like boring world which is not lived in, no one else.
Okay.
I think that would really help it, and then we'll see what else, if they did anything else. And
this is all saying after we've fully and thoroughly explored update 1.6.
yeah. Well, look, maybe we'll do another episode with a 1.6 update after we've put more hours into it, and then maybe we can talk about a little bit more about some of the other games if we've put more hours into them.
Yeah, so, but just to round that out, from my side, it was Graveyard Keeper, Sunhaven, and my time at Portia.
Kynseed, Slime Rancher, and Potions Permit.
Yeah, and then obviously Stardew and a bit of Haunted Chocolatier. But this is also not an exhaustive list. If we'd had a lot more time and maybe even more people to consult, there are many games we could have played. Just a couple I was considering, and Hushef is going to fight me on one of these, but you. Moonlighter is another one. Roots of Portia, Fae Farm, Animal Crossing we did talk a bit about. Terraria. Yeah,
Terraria, I feel like is not close to cozy gamer at all.
Okay, Hushef, I don't care.
No,
I don't care. Every list has this on it.
Oh.
Hushef, you type in Stardew like games. Terraria is on every single list. Terraria inspired Stardew Valley.
Your ass is clenching during half the time of Terraria as you're trying to fight off these bosses, man.
Maybe your ass. My ass is fully open and prepared. Regardless, so there are lots and lots of games in this sphere, and I think this become more saturated as people have realized tapping into that casual games market is good money. Like, besides the shitty mobile games, Farmville and whatever.
Is Farmville even still a thing?
I feel like it fell off in 2011, but
there's going to be people listening to this who don't know what Farmville is, and I'm talking like people born in 2000 onwards. Like, the is a Farmville.
Casual games it's an exploding market, and I think it's just come about as people realize, oh, video games aren't just for boys, guys. And that was a marketing tactic marketers like yourself used for a long time, of just playing to boys' interests, I guess, or like society's expectations of boys. But there's if you just keep making games for a specific group of people, you're missing out on such a big audience. And
yeah, we went, like, if you look at gaming culture, went through such a thing where it's just like nerds, specifically male nerds.
Exactly.
Then
on
nerds that encompass both girls and boys.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just specifically just boys. You know, if the girls like it, whatever. And then I think Sims really did a lot to help.
The Sims girlies are out there, dude.
And people realize, oh, girls can be gamers too.
we're flipping allies.
And I think just from there, people realize, games can be for fucking anyone.
Yeah, the amount of people in the middle of their lives, like I'm talking 50 plus, playing Candy Crush is insane. It's one of their biggest markets.
$1 billion company
for sure. But yeah, so there's lots of games. If we've missed any, please shout at us, call us dickheads. I'm there for it.
Yeah, I always want to learn. Always want to play a new game, find out some new stuff.
If
I love
we
learning.
bashed your game, please specifically shout at Hushaf. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, who hates me now? The French, people from Joburg.
White people.
White people love me. The amount of times I've met, well, it doesn't happen anymore, but the amount of times I used to meet like a white person and be like, oh my God, I love curry. First thing out of their mouth.
Dude, I can't be racist. I love curry. But yeah, so please direct all your hate towards Hushaf and maybe a small amount of it towards me.
DM me on Twitter. Follow me first. DM me on Twitter.
Follow me and then DM me.
DM me on Instagram also. Let me know some new games I could try out. If I bash your game, sorry. Tell me why I'm wrong.
But yeah, so I don't know how to come back from that. But so yeah, we are Underleveled. You can find us on all the socials. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Underleveled. That's UNDRLEVELED. And you can also find us on most socials. For instance, what social? Mixit, MySpace,
Twitter,
Facebook?
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Our podcast is available on almost every platform where you can find a podcast.
But
we're talking Apple, Spotify, Amazon,
all the places.
Deezers.
But yeah, we hope you enjoyed listening
MySpace,
or watching, or whatever platform you've been consuming our media on. And we hope you have a lovely day. My name is Bjorn.
My name is Ashav. Don't forget to smash the like button.
Smash the like button and subscribe unless you're on audio platforms, in which case follow.
The 5 stars.
5-star
Yeah.
ratings, 5 ancient fruit ratings, please and thank
Star
you.
fruits.
And then we hope you have an awesome day. Cheers. Thank you so much. Bye.